Good morning, guys. I am going to create this video in order to let you practice in the coming weeks exactly as I showed you yesterday in the last lesson, and for help you in getting familiar for the coming weeks, the coming lessons, and obviously the last exam we are going to do on the 1st of February. So this file is the file called database exam 2b, the same one I sent you yesterday by email before the lesson. It's a sort of dashboard I've created for the from the previous exam. We are going to do some basic statistics calculations in order to provide measures of z-scores and for the within training analysis, and effect sizes and smallest worthwhile changes for the between training analysis. So the first step is to calculate the averages and the standard deviations for each one of the two training sessions, the training A, the training B. So the formula I have to type in the cell G9 is the average, and obviously selecting by the range of units of numbers I want to use. Then I have to type a different formula, the standard deviation formula, as the depth, again using the same range. Now, from this point I can easily use a shortcut in Excel. I can select both formulas, both cells, including two formulas, and then Ctrl+C, copying, and actually pasting the same formulas, but in cells G18, G19. So Excel will use the same formula, but will adjust the range according to a new, let's say, range of numbers. So G12, G17, and the same for the standard deviations. Now, the following step is to calculate the z-scores. I remind you that for definition, the z-score indicates the distance of a given data from a population, from a group of numbers it belongs to, in terms of standard deviations. So, to calculate the z-scores for the individual exercises in training A, I will type the following formula. The given data minus the average locked using the dollar symbol, because actually I want always to subtract from the given data the same average, divided by the standard deviation. And again, locking this number, because this will always the denominator for my calculation. I've calculated the z-score for the rowing machine exercise, and then I can draw the formula until the last one. And in a moment, I've calculated all the z-scores for the different exercises. Now, typing the first cell, I can again copy the formula, and I'm going to paste the same one close to the squat exercise. The only thing I have to change, as you can see, Excel actually locked the cells G9 and G10 due to the symbols I've used before, so I have to modify G9 and G10 actually in G18 and G19, since these numbers are the average and the standard deviations belonging to the training B. I can do it very easily. I can take and draw the cell or the formula belonging to the cell G9 to G18 and the formula of the standard deviation to G19. Otherwise, I have to change the numbers by typing the exact cells. Enter, and again I calculate the z-scores for all the exercises. Now we completed the within analysis. We are going to calculate the statistics for the between training analysis. And the first step to do is to use the formula of the effect sizes, considering the pooled standard deviation. So the first step is to calculate the standard deviation between all the exercises done in training A and training B. I select the first range, I use the comma, and again the second range, close the brackets. Now I have the pooled standard deviation of all the 12 exercises. And again, now we calculate the effect size. The effect size, for definition, is a sort of z-score used for between training analysis. So the difference between two different training sessions in terms of standard deviations. In order to calculate it, the formula is first average minus second average divided by the pooled standard deviation. So you can see that the actual value is 0.12, falling in the category of trivial effects, 0 to 2, even let's say either in positive values or in negative values means a trivial effect. So actually I can already conclude that the workload, the total workload between the two training sessions wasn't significant and didn't have a practical meaningful. But in order to reinforce, to strengthen this conclusion, I'm going to calculate the smallest worthwhile change. The calculation is done by multiplying for a factor of 0.2 the pooled standard deviation. So now I know that once the difference between the two training sessions will, let's say, exceed the number 146, the difference will be considered as meaningful in practical terms. For completion of the exercise, I will do the final step. I will calculate the difference, the absolute difference between the two training sessions. So I will see that the difference is actually lower than the smallest worthwhile change, and in conclusion I can say that there is no meaningful, no practical difference between the two training sessions in terms of workloads, because the effect size is trivial and the difference, the absolute difference, is lower than the smallest worthwhile change. What I suggest to you to do is to obviously practice again these calculations. Before doing and typing the formulas, you can use the same dashboard but modifying some of the numbers inside. The only thing that once typed the formulas, Excel will automatically modify all the numbers and the outcomes. So I suggest you to recreate different situations with different effect size scores, with different smallest worthwhile changes scores, in order to get familiar with the interpretation process that you could easily use both for the exam and in practical terms in your professional fields. I hope this video will help you, and we will meet again next week during the seminar. Have a nice day.